All right, welcome back and a happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. Sitting here in the studio along with Jim Tillich of the Breck Fine Art Gallery. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing very well.
Yeah, the road's a little icy out there, I'm sure still, but overall we're set up for a nice weekend coming up.
Yeah, not too cold.
Yeah.
Just about right.
It is just about
Good
right,
snow up
especially even
there.
today. We're going to see a high 30s, and throughout our holiday weekend, we're going to see temperatures in the 40s and sunny. Can't ask for much better than that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that should make for a busy weekend down in town of Breckenridge too. So tell us where the gallery is located specifically.
On Main Street, right where Park and Main meet. I'm right there at the corner of Breckenridge Fine Art Gallery, and it's easy to find. And I've got a front door and a back door, two front doors as they say. One on the river on the walkway there. Yeah, people are coming in. It's quite interesting because we've got guests from all over the U.S. and the world as well.
Yeah.
It's been interesting.
I bet it has. Yeah. Well, and you brought in a couple examples to show us today, but tell me about more of the body of work that you would find at the Breckenridge Fine Art Gallery.
Since I especially like Impressionism, and the French taught Impressionism to the world in general of painters, I like that French Impressionistic style where they're painting their impression of the day, how they felt about it, the atmosphere. And they weren't going for detail. They were going for the feel of the day, their impression of what they saw, and they wanted to leave an emotional impact from the piece of art they painted.
Great. Well, and let's go right into a couple of these pieces then. First one you brought in is a Turkish painter.
Yes, Breck is Turkish, Armenian. He's from that part of the world where life is a little bit slower.
Okay.
He enjoys it. When he painted this piece that you're looking at, he was just trying to convey the peacefulness of the backwoods of Turkey and Greece and that general area.
Yeah, I really like this piece. That just sense of returning home is what you're getting from it, and a nice use of color. Just a whole span of the yellow and the green and a little bit of red in there. It's just a very nice piece.
It's a slice of time, and most painters like to paint something that takes them back to the good memories, the good old days. When we look at photographs, we're looking at the past, and it's interesting to us, nostalgic.
Absolutely.
So oftentimes painters will make sure that what they put in their painting draws up some type of emotion.
Certainly.
And then Impressionism does that the best because there's no sharp lines. It's broad brush strokes.
Is that generally a rule of thumb to Impressionistic painting? You're just not going to see those hard lines?
Exactly.
Okay.
In general, that's how they paint. So you've got the man riding the donkey, you've got a nice tree on the left, and then the roofs of the houses, red, and most of them in that area are. And then from here off to the side are the Aegean Sea, the sea there around Turkey and Bosun and some of those older towns.
Okay. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Absolutely.
And people make their living fishing, even though they ride a donkey down to the water.
Oh, I see.
It's very homey, very beautiful.
Yeah, an interesting way to commute to work there.
Yes, yes. I wish we would slow down a little bit.
And I feel like the community that we live in, we're on mountain time a lot of times, so I think we're at least a little slower than a lot of other areas in the country. But let's go into this other piece that you brought in too. Just a very beautiful piece, and a little bit larger of one too. A lot more to see in this one, just because it's that bigger view. But this is a Russian painting.
Yes, this is Mr. Zeman. Zeman means winter, so it'd be Mr. Winters in English. What you're looking at is the city of Old Ladoga, and that is way up in the far west, the northwest corner of Russia. At one time it was going to be the capital of Russia because of the attack of the Tartars, who came from the east and then invaded up toward the north. So there is a church there, an Orthodox cathedral, and you're looking at that log house. I looked up close in this area at how they built their homes, and this is, of course, inside the Arctic Circle, so it's cold, as you can see. It kind of fits here. The log houses that they built were done on purpose because the ground alternately freezes and thaws, freezes and thaws. So I'll go to a place like this in, say, Old Ladoga or some of the northern parts of Russia, and the front porch of the house slants this way in the spring, then it all freezes up and it slants that way in the winter.
How funny. Wow.
And so what they do is they build with logs.
Sure.
They just put, well, I think you call it chink in there. They put the concrete or mortar or whatever it is in between the logs. Each time they move, they redo it, and it's just an interesting way of life.
That's very interesting, yeah, and such a neat piece to talk about this town that, as a strategic point, the nation was considering this as their capital. I mean, it's just demonstrating that birth of the country, and you kind of see that through just the rusticness of some of these buildings in there too. So it's a very neat piece, and you can see a lot of pieces of work like this in the gallery, and from a lot of different countries around the world, and a lot of different artists.
Yes, at least 30 different countries around the world. Wow. And again, the feeling is impressionism, emotional, sometimes melancholy, because many artists want to paint their past in that it wasn't as easy as it could have been, but it was home. Absolutely. It was then, you know.
Very good. Well, and you are certainly going to feel some emotion when you come into the Breck Fine Art Gallery. There is always a piece that will be able to speak to you specifically when you go in there, because just the array of different pieces in there are just, you know, they vary so much between the subjects and how the styles are painted.
Yes, each artist, they can paint the same scene, but they'll do it slightly differently because they're painting their feelings.
And every painter's a little bit different. Jim, always a pleasure to have you come into the studio. Thanks so much. And again, the Breck Fine Art Gallery, located right on Main Street in Breckenridge, the south end of town where Park and Main Street meet.
Exactly.
All right, great to see you again. And we're going to take another break, be back with more. I believe it's time for another look at snow and weather coming up. And again, my co-host Scotty Bondo hanging out at Grand Lodge Peak 7. And we have a 30-minute massage to give away for our Watch and Win on this Valentine's Day. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more.